cannot get. And I see this, 76, you know. 76, I was only 20 years old. I was born in 56, this is 76.
I not born also, boy.
My
77.
friend not born. Imagine that.
A glimpse of inside.
So what we have really gone through in this part of Malacca, this Assumption Church, Malacca, 1976, this was Festas, Rosario, Asunta is Asunta is the dual or double celebration of this church. Okay. Now this was the bishop of Malacca Johor. Malacca Johor, okay, the late Bishop James Chan. Okay. So he gave his message. Alright, and then we had actually this family was a very supportive family, the Karajas from Singapore. So they actually met this priest for the sending, who I'll show you later. He made friends with them and they were very supportive. And the Karajas was basically involved in organizing the choir for the sending. So, okay, Father Creed, Nancy Blake was the parish priest of St. Peter's. Father T. at Creed. I think Father was maybe a Canadian. And then this is the priest. Father, the late Father Agosto M. Sandy, who was really the one who really organized, especially the youths in the church. He was so into preserving of tradition, promoting youthful activities. He reorganized the choir. He had special youth mass for Feast of the Assumption. He had multicultural performances. We had an organized program. I will show you the program as we go along. I mean, this is what we are talking of, what we can achieve in Praya Lane. It's just a matter of getting the people together. Okay? Okay, this was the organizing committee. You see? And the organizing committee came from all walks of life. We had people who were in government, people who were self-employed, people who were fishermen, and so many other subcommittees that had the local population involved. We had Chinese, we had even our Malay friends, we had our neighbors who were also Indians, Chinese, they all came together. Okay? And then this is an article written by the late Patrick De Silva called Links and Continuity. So he's talking about continuity of our culture and heritage. How the Portuguese came and brought their culture and heritage in terms of, especially the religion, so how it still goes on till today. Okay? And finally, another article by the secretary of the organizing committee then, Miss Mabel Di Mello. So also talking about, if you zoom, you can see how she says of the different ethnic groups coming together, helping out spontaneously, not even with invitation, because it was like for them a kampong affair. That's how it used to be. Okay? And then finally, I think you can have a look at the program proper. The program is so elaborate. Those days program was so elaborate. Okay, you see the program. I'm also so amazed at the program. Now, and it's not something so easy to achieve anymore. So, we had so much of, we had magic show. We had jumble sale. We had talent time for children. We had a lot of guest artists from all over to come and perform. There you are, look at the program. See, Festa di Signora da Signora, okay, of Assumption Church. Look at the program. So it's a food fair, talent time, variety show, children's fashion show, food and fun fair. We had water sports. We had grand opening by the bishop. We had sunset mass. Sunset mass is a mass on Saturday. We had cultural show, again talent time, and the pranyo, the local traditional folk dance. And then you see, we also had breakfast for all those who came, or breakfast sale. And then fun fair again. We had magic show. Imagine, 3-day program. And I had the grand celebration of the two statues going out to sea. where you see, welcome to the statues of Our Lady of Rosary and Assumption. We brought them out into the sea for a sea procession. And then after that, followed by a high mass. Okay. And then it was, like I say, very grand celebration. We had another procession around the church. You see? And then we had the sound of music. Sound of music is actually cultural, entertainment, modern groups performing. So it's so fantastic. So this is actually what we really want to try to bring back into Praya Lane. Okay. Now this is another one. This one is the Feast of the Assumption, 1998. This was the last that we did it on a grand scale, where we had the decoration of the arches and we had a program. A program means we had some organized stage show, cultural performance, talent time and all that. So okay, a message from the parish priest of St. Peter's. And then I was the organizing chairman in 1999. In 1976, I was only a subcommittee member. Okay? So my message is very loud and clear that we have to have this continuity of communities coming together spontaneously, made up of all ethnic groups, even religious background, because it was just village, just kampong. People knew each other well. Everybody cared for each other, especially they cared for their neighbors' children. So okay, books dedicated to all our past priests and religious who served the church. So that was what we dedicated this celebration to. Also another very elaborate program. Okay, so organizing committee. This is the organizing committee. The program, I think, is this was the program. Okay. So it was just a simple booklet just to commemorate the celebration. Okay, and then very interesting. Now this is about the sugarcane. Why we use sugarcane? So it's clear, very clear that we use sugarcane in remembrance of those difficult years when the Catholic faith was put to a test, where the Dutch prohibited, the Dutch in a way suppressed. I will not say the word persecuted, but they suppressed, they oppressed the Catholics, and as a result, the religion was taken to the hinterlands in this area where there were lots of sugarcane plantation, and the Feast of the Assumption was celebrated in secret, away from Dutch authorities. So this is actually some stories that we have found in history books and written by renowned writers like Bernard Santa Maria, Father Pintado, and those have come before them, Father Theseira, Father Rego and all that. So documentations of this. Now there's few variations of why we use sugarcane, but I think the closest I feel is related to Dutch rule of Malacca. But after the first maybe 20 or 30 years, then the Dutch became a bit more tolerant, and that's when they allowed the Catholics to celebrate their Assumption Feast in the open, in public. That's how today we celebrate it openly. And sugarcane is used to remind of those difficult years, especially for the succeeding generations. That is the whole idea. Noble idea of our forefathers. So when the sugarcane story come up, why we use sugarcane? The story of those difficult times will come. And at least I say it's something that you only get in this church. You don't get the same story or history of this sugarcane in PJ, where you have a church of Assumption there. And you don't have the same story in Penang, where you have a church of Assumption there. Because they have no story, they have no history. We in Malacca, we have, and we thank God for it. It's our unique tradition and culture, which we strongly want to preserve and promote, at least also to the next generation. Thank you.